Hey, it's your girl Elle Beasley, and I'm with my girl Shavana.
Hey, hey, hey.
Now, we are 2 episodes in to our final episodes of Pretty Little Liars. So 2 episodes in, 8 episodes to go. And all of our liars are kind of in their own situations. They're together, but at the same time, they're all going through their individual struggles.
They're not as united as they normally would be.
I agree. And one of our liars is Aria. And Aria is not somebody that we typically have been fans of.
Correct.
We don't hate her, as you've said many times. It's just more so we have our favorite characters who we're like, oh, that's my girl.
Right.
Oh, I love her. And Aria.
She has those moments where it's like, you matter.
Yeah, she's had some moments where we've been like, oh, we like that line, or hey, we like this scene with Aria, but we've never been diehard Aria fans. But I know for me personally, these last 2 episodes, my heart has kind of gone out to Aria.
Okay, because like her fiance then went and fell in love with the dad.
Well, he found out the one he was in love with and was going to spend his life with is now alive and no longer dead. But I understand where Ezra's coming from, because at the end of the day, he's in a rock and a hard place, because here's the woman you were gonna spend your life with, coming back from the dead when you were gonna move on with another woman who you originally loved before her. So I understand it, but then I just really feel bad for Aria, because again, you don't really know what's going on. You're in limbo. Right. He's not necessarily, at least based on what we're seeing in these episodes, he's not really communicating with you. You're supposed to be planning the wedding to the man of your dreams, and you're kind of like, I don't know. He could come back from New York and be like, this is over. He's not communicating with me. I don't know what he feels, and I just really feel bad for Aria. Right. But mind you,
pause on that before you say it. One thing I liked about Aria in the last episode, how she was about to go in there and get her man.
I do kind of like that, but I kind of just I did like Holden though, just kind of telling her to just he's going through it too, maybe not in the same way you are, and I agree with what Holden said. Just let it play out, because no matter what, it's gonna play out the way it needs to play out.
Yeah.
But that being said, I'm also, even though it's not gonna happen, I could care less about Ezra.
Me too.
Because for me, with Ezra, I've never been a big Ezra fan, but I really lost any respect I have for Ezra when we found out he was writing this book. He knew who Aria, he knew who all the girls were. After all of that, I was done.
Right, and for me, it was the fact that, like, he was her teacher, and that's just something I can't be okay with.
Right.
And it's like, that whole, when we found out about the book and how he already knew who the liars were, it took me back to when they first met, and then she walks in the classroom, where he walks in the classroom, he sees her, and he's like, you're a student, blah, blah, and I'm like, you knew that, though.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So, like we said, good acting.
Exactly, it goes back to the trust. So that's why for me, even though, I want Aria to have her happy ending, it's just always kind of hard for me to root for Ezra as a couple, because I'm not a big fan.
I'm more of a Jaria fan, though.
I wouldn't mind seeing some Jaria. I wouldn't mind seeing some Jaria. Another...
well, with Aria, even though she's going through her stuff, one thing I do like, she's always been there for Spencer. These last 2 episodes, she's been the most one for Spencer.
Well, no, and I'm actually happy that you brought that up, because Spencer's kind of in a rock between a hard place as well. She's finding out all these things about her family, and we've constantly said throughout this, it seems like nobody is showing her real extreme sympathy out of her group of friends except for Aria. Allison and Emily haven't been mean or vulgar. They just haven't necessarily been right there as a shoulder to cry on.
Are you okay, buddy?
Exactly. Aria's kind of been the one who understood why Spencer played the game.
Stood up for her.
Stood up for her. We also know they had a nice heart-to-heart in the kitchen while Aria was helping Holden. I feel like she's the only one showing Spencer sympathy. But I will say, I like the fact that Spencer is kind of just dedicated right now to figuring out what's going on with AD, and then what's going on with her mother, Mary Drake, and her family. I like that, because so many times we see Spencer, after she gets out of a relationship, or if things get going tough, we see her kind of jump to a relationship.
Yeah, like she's like one of those people. She's like an Emily. She can't be single.
So for me, I kind of like the fact that right now we're not really pushing that on her. We both love the scene at the hospital with Toby. It wasn't. It was an intimate scene in the sense of you can always tell there's a love there and a chemistry there.
Definitely.
But it was a good friendship scene, as you call it. It was a good friendship scene that just showed, you know what, no matter what, I got you on both sides. And I love just Spencer just saying, you're gonna get your happy ending. I promise you're gonna get your happy ending. I love that. And I love the slow simmering relationship between her and Marco. It's not overly friendly, it's not overly intimate and sexualized. You can tell he's going at her pace. She has made it very clear, hey, I'm not interested in a relationship right now. I got a lot going on. He respects that, but you can still see he understands the boundary line of constant friend.
And one thing I like about this season with Marlene, even though like Aria has her own thing, I like the simmering of the new developed relationships that we want.
Yes,
that we want. But I'm glad we're not jumping into it, because Yvonne in the car crash, like I like that. But another one, I really kind of like the slow creep of how their relationship is gonna play out. Alice and Emily.
Yes, Emerson.
And you know I'm not a fan of theirs.
Yeah, you're not a big Emerson fan. I'm a huge Emerson fan because I always say to me the best chemistry for me with Emily has always been with Maya, and then Allison and Emerson. So for me, I love the slow simmering. I know some Emerson fans are just ready for them just to be in love and have the romance.
No, you gotta.
But I like the slow simmering. We talked about this before. I love the first episode back when Emily basically says, "Do not kiss me again."
I loved that
until
too.
you know. That's Emily in her own subtle, soft way taking control and saying, "Hey, look, I love you as a friend and I love you as more than a friend. And maybe we can explore this. But until you know what I mean to you and you're ready to declare it verbally and acknowledge it, I don't even think it's about labels, bi, gay, straight. Right. I think it's just you need to acknowledge what you feel for me and if you're willing to declare that verbally and publicly. And I love that. And I loved it.
I loved it for the simple fact it showed Emily's empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
It shows
her growth.
Yes,
it shows her growth.
Because sometimes she plays like that whole, well, why don't you love me? Mm-hmm. And this is a really good thing for Emily because she didn't completely shut down the hopes for Emerson.
No, right.
But she did kind of was like, I'm gonna pump my brakes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let you fix what you got going on.
And I love the jump even from the second episode because sometimes when you have a scene like that, that's kind of like your last scene, you worry. What's gonna be their vibe? And I love that, again, it's just the friendship. It's, do you want me to come over and bring you dinner? Let you don't need to be alone right now. Still being that friend, even in the sense of when Emily's going through her moment with this new character.
Even though they could be doing that with Spencer, but continue.
Yeah. But even when Emily's going through all this stuff with the new student, Addison, and we're all over the place, and she's like, oh, I'm frustrated. I just love, again, Allison, I'm not letting you do this alone. Right. Again, it doesn't always have to be we're talking about our relationship. Sometimes it's just cool to let the friendship be there and slowly see that friendship turn into a relationship. So I really love that growth, like you said, between not only just with Spencer and Marco and even just the slow simmering of her and Toby. I also love it with Emerson. Now, I will say who has been pissing me off.
Girl, that bitch.
Is Hannah.
Man,
Hannah has been pissing me off these first couple episodes.
She started getting on my nerves last season.
Well, she got on my nerves the minute they got back from the time jump. So 5 years in, as soon as we got back from the time jump, that's when she got really.
I guess for you because of the whole Caleb and
not even just see for one. You were a Hannah fan. I've always had my two favorite characters have always been Spencer and Emily. Right. I've grown to like Allison and I've grown to like Hannah. Aria has always just kind of been the one I'm like, okay, you're cool, but I'm not like a big Aria fan. Like you've been a Hannah fan.
I've been a Hannah fan. I've been a Hala fan, and they have disappointed me from. I guess as soon as Hannah went missing or under the little floorboard or whatever, that's when they got on my nerves.
Right.
I couldn't stand Caleb for a while.
I still don't like Caleb. I still don't like Caleb.
Hannah, she'll go rogue, and then be like, oh, where are we? And as soon as Spencer does one thing, what the hell, Spencer? Blah, 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 blah. When you're the queen of rogue.
Right. And that's what kind of frustrated me. It was... and goes back to what we said before about having sympathy for Spencer. Nobody's really shown that except for Aria. Spencer, yes, she played the game without permission, but again, Hannah, I know as hard as it may be, put your, self in her shoes. Put yourself in her shoes and just think. She wants answers, and this is a way to get them. And again, like you said, you've gone rogue before. You were the same who kidnapped Noah and didn't tell the girls and then say, hey, we gotta fix this when he escaped. So again, I understand Hannah's frustrations. I just don't always like the way that she verbalizes them, because sometimes it just comes off as Hannah being really disrespectful and you're being really unrealistic considering your situation. And then
mind you, she goes rogue again with Caleb to that doctor, the shoe doctor.
Yeah, to the shoe doctor. Yeah, so I haven't really liked what I've seen out of her, and I haven't really liked what I've seen in general. Like I said, I do like Caleb as a couple. I just don't feel the same intense chemistry I think I felt before. And maybe that's just because it's still kind of new entering back. It just seems it just got done with Spencer and then it kind of just
and that's one thing, because even in the bed scene, I'd have been okay if they would just be like, well, have you checked on Spencer?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what we're both waiting on from a Caleb standpoint, and even a Spaleb if you want to throw that in there. We're just kind of waiting to see, because at this point, as far as we know, none of the girls even know that Hannah and Caleb are back together because it's never mentioned. The only person she's mentioned it really to is Mona, and that's just because Mona keeps inviting herself into the apartment. So at this point, it's kind of like, I would like to just see, not like a declaration or jealousy from Spencer, I just would like to see some interaction, because we've always liked the interaction interaction of those three as a group, as friends. When Spencer and Caleb were together, people like Spayla, people like Hayla, but I've always just liked Spencer and Caleb's friendship long before a relationship came. I've always liked Hannah and
like
Spencer's
he's the
friendship.
brains, she's the brains, he's a computer.
Right, so I've always liked Spencer and Hannah's relationship, so I want to see a little bit more growth there, but like I said, Hannah's probably been, for me right now, kind of the more, she still has the great one-liners that
I love them.
But she has been
one of those, like, you need to get off your high horse, be a friend, and I might like you again.
Yeah, you might like her again.
I might like
you might like her again. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, we got 8 episodes to go. I think we're about to start getting into the phase where we really start getting some answers. I know it's been a frustrating thing for some fans. They're like, we're not really getting answers yet. I feel like we're getting slow answers, but I feel like as we move on,
I see a lot of hard-hitting stuff happening in 4.
I agree.
I think that's when the show is just going to go completely back to back to back to back
with answers and
clues like
my God.
the huge OMG moments. I see reveals happening. I see epiphanies happening.
Absolutely.
So I'm just excited to see the whole wrap up of our Pretty Little Liars.
I am too, man. It's getting emotional, but I'm happy so far. Like I said, I can be patient. I've waited this long. I can be patient. So PLL fans, for those who are frustrated out there and feel like not getting answers,
they're gonna do it.
They're gonna do it. Marlena's not gonna disappoint us. I don't think she's gonna disappoint us. So I'm excited to see it, but I can't wait now for episode 3 because it looks like we're about to get a little insight to Dark Arya and see the Liars get a little bit more dark.
I might like Arya after this season.
I might like Arya after the season. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. So we'll see. Can't wait for that next episode of Pretty Little Liars on Freeform.